Hey everyone, it's Evan the Legend here, and today I want to take some time to talk about the most recent Fortnite Live Event featuring Doctor Doom, as well as show some gameplay from it throughout the entire event. To start off, the event itself started off pretty damn strong, with the map going deafeningly silent and the clouds began to change color. When that happened, you could just tell something eerie was going on and something big was coming. And then once that explosion popped off and everybody, just got completely blindsided by it, then you knew we were in for a treat, or so we thought. So when I started head over there and I saw the actual sheer size and presence of Doom standing in the middle of the lake, I will say this: as for the intro part of all this, in regards to how they kind of set the stage and the presentation of Doom, I give Epic an A for that. I think that that was all done very well, and that was something that they really could have built on. But unfortunately, for the rest of the event, I cannot necessarily say the same, and I will elaborate on that more later in the video. Looking at the sheer size and overwhelming presence of Doom, which when I saw that, I really had my hopes up for that we were going to be in for quite the epic battle. And I thought it was really cool that players could not damage each other in a certain area, which wasn't really specified. It was just kind of you had a rough feeling. You're like, hey, if I go like outside this lake, I think I'm good. But then you go outside the lake and people still can't do damage to you. So you're really not sure when and where you can get hurt, which eventually you kind of find out, but you still aren't really sure what the hell happened. But so, nonetheless, as time was going on, players started noticing that, and this includes myself, started realizing Doom's health really wasn't going down that much, or really at all at certain points, despite taking nonstop damage, just getting peppered left and right from 80 plus people. You would think 80 plus players, they're laying into this thing, and I get it, it's a big boss, but it's not going down at all. And obviously, at first, without until I could actually think it over, I wasn't really able to figure out why. Um, and then as we moved on, people, as everyone started realizing that there wasn't any other damage being done despite all those guns hitting him, it was going to that Doom's health was going down at a preset rate, and which is fine. I really do wish that it'd been kind of just like put out there ahead of time so people could just like gone about playing the game. And once players started realizing they weren't doing any actual damage to Doom, but rather his health was going down at its preset rate, players began shooting at each other, which was totally fine, dandy, except that eventually actual damage started being inflicted with absolutely zero warning. Or I mean, I at least I was out of the loop on this. If there is somebody who watches this and you actually had a little bit more inside information about that, I would love to hear about it. So if you want to put that down below, I would love to hear it. Um, so nonetheless, I did die on that first match, and I said, it's okay. I died on during a live event. It's not like I went in there trying to get a win. But I would have really appreciated if Epic could have given a warning or a disclaimer or something along those lines. But that's just my take. So as I said, and then also if anybody does want to leave any thoughts or opinions regarding how that component of the event was handled, I would really love to hear about it, and I'd love to for you to let me know in the comments down below. Now, altogether, this event took around an hour, which wound up being 3 matches for me. And on the second game, when I really started to realize what was going on with Doom's health, I wanted to make sure that match counted. So you'll probably see somewhere along the lines in this video where I do get a win. That was actually from my second game because I decided to be on my toes and start preparing for post Doom and moving towards the end of the game. And I figured, I'd probably have enough time to crank out a win and still catch the end of the event based on how the timer was going, which fortunately I was right about. Now, I was fortunate that I didn't let that last match run too long because Doom's health was damn near less than a quarter when I dropped in on that third match. And it was odd because, like, as I said, I was kind of keeping track of everything, and I was seeing how it was panning out in terms of his health going down, and it seemed like it was. I mean, and it did run just a little over an hour, but it just seemed like towards the end of that last one, it just, I mean, it started just to drop, and which was fine, Danny. I still was able to catch the end of it, and then the actual ending of the event was, and this is where they kind of dropped the ball the most, in my opinion, was that Doom was just absorbed into a giant rift and then is subsequently vanquished, or so we think, in the process. And I feel like they could have. I just, if you're gonna have a live event, if I'm just being completely blunt, I feel like you should at least have it be like a map altering. And like, I know that his mask came down and landed in the lake, which, I mean, maybe there's gonna be, that very well could have something to do with like the story going forward. That's the only rational or logical thing that I could really think of. However, I just really do feel like they could have done more with that. And with them doing more of that, I just feel like there could be a completely new area, like an actual named location or something along those lines with like loot and all that. But I could just behind it being nitpicky about it. And if I am, feel free to let me know. But so going forward, my general thoughts about all this is, once the players realized they weren't doing actual damage to Doom, it kind of takes us, the players, out of it. We don't feel as involved. Like, yeah, it's cool to be there and like watch it happen. We could literally not be touching him and his health's just gonna go down. And then it just kind of feels like all that ammunition and bouncing around was all for naught. Like, yeah, it looks cool on paper, but there's not a whole lot of depth to it. So I do feel like if they had let it literally be an all out battle, and you had to take him out, and I mean, just make his health realistic, like make it high, but make it very much realistic. They really could have done a lot with that. But when you feel like you aren't able to really influence the outcome of something, or make it, at least just make it feel like you're a little more involved. I feel like people just aren't nearly as invested because of that. So in the end, it definitely was a spectacle at first, and it was really sick to see all the players swarm the lake in hopes of taking Doom down, which I guess technically on paper we did. But otherwise, the rest of it just seemed kind of like a way for Epic to get a spike in their player count for about an hour, which, you know what? More power to them. I'm not going to try and knock them and, say I get it. They need to make their money and whatnot. I give them an A for presentation to start it off. I think that was done well. I think that, they definitely set a good stage. And then as for the rest of the event, I think they really could have done a lot better in regards to how they handled, you know, us doing damage to each other, letting us know about that, all of that stuff. And also allowing us to actually do damage to Doom. So, but that's just, if I were going to be doing it myself, that's how I would go about it. I hope that y'all enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed my breakdown and thoughts on this, feel free to like and subscribe, as well as comment your thoughts down below. Also, if you didn't agree with any of my thoughts, I'd love to chat about it more in the comments, and I'm always more than happy to talk with anybody who watches these and feels like they have something to say, or they don't feel the same about things that in the way that I do. And the reason for that being is I am a very firm, true believer in that having constructive conversations, regarding how we feel about things, whether for better or for worse, is always a good thing to do. And I feel like not enough people do it these days. And nonetheless, I had a good time, and I appreciate anybody who watched it on my stream. So, on that note, I just want to thank everyone again so much for watching. And I hope that y'all have the best day. Much love. And I look forward to seeing y'all again.